Hello everyone, I'm Yana from Susan's family. Today, I will show you how to crochet this Jacaranda dress from the Botanical Sensations series. For this electronic tutorial, you can search for en.sussudiy.com to access it. This dress consists of two parts, the main body and the decorations. The main body includes the top, the skirt, and the lace. The decorations include daisies and bouquets. There are 3 designs of this dress, with only the bouquets differing. The method for the rest are the same. I will demonstrate using one of the designs as an example, and explain the differences in designs. At the same time, this dress comes in multiple sizes. The crochet method is the same, just differ in the number of stitches and rows in certain placements. Let's start by crocheting the top of the main body. It's divided into the front piece, the edging, the flutter sleeves, the side piece, and the neckline edging. Here, we crochet the front and back piece and the side piece separately. For the edging, the flutter sleeves, and the neckline edging, we join the front and back piece, and then crochet in rounds. First, let's crochet the front and back piece. The crochet method is the same. The fabric is divided into the even section and the decreasing section. We will crochet the decreasing section separately on the left and right sides. First, crochet the even section from bottom to top. Begin with the foundation chains, then work back and forth along the foundation chains. The stitches required include chains, double crochets, single crochets, half double crochets, DC2 tog, and DT cluster. Let me demonstrate the specific crochet method for you, to make it clear to see. Here I use the cotton yarn to demonstrate. The color is random, for specific yarn detail, color scheme, and hook size. Please refer to the detail page and the pattern of this product. First, begin with the foundation chains. Hang the yarn with your left hand. Then work the required number of chains. Refer to the pattern for the specific number. Now let's begin row 1. Chain 3 to begin. Count them as 1 double crochet. Then hook into the 4th chain from right to left. Note that the loops on the hook are not included. Pick up its top loop. Work 2 double crochets. Then skip 2 chains on the left side. Hook into the top loop of the next chain. Work 3 double crochets. We consider these 3 double crochets into one placement as one leaf. Continue skipping the next 2 chains. Then work 1 leaf. Continue working with this method. Complete the leaf in the final chain. Now row 1 is complete. Move on to row 2. Chain 3 to begin. Turn the fabric. Then chain 1 to space. Then hook into the gap between the leaves of the previous row. Work 1 leaf. Continue to work into the gaps between the leaves, and work leaves correspondingly. Complete the leaf into the final gap. Then chain 1 to space. Then move to the turning chain of the previous row. Hook into the third chain. Pick up its 2 strands. Work 1 double crochet. If you can't find the exact placement, you can work into the gap between the turning chain and the double crochet. At this point, if the fabric is curling a lot, you can stretch it. If it's still curling, you can recast on. And cast on a bit looser this time. Now row 2 is complete. Move on to row 3. Chain 3 to begin. Then turn the fabric into the adjacent chain space. Work 2 double crochets. Including the turning chains, this makes 1 leaf. The specialty is that it includes the turning chain. Next, continue working leaves into the gaps correspondingly. Into the final chain space, corresponds to 1 leaf. Now row 3 is complete. Next, follow the same method of the first 2 rows to work. At the last row of this section, we need to change stitches to form the neckline. Let me demonstrate this row for you. Continue with this sample for demonstration. First, chain 3 to begin. Turn the fabric. Then chain 1 to space. Continue working leaves correspondingly. Work all the way to the half double crochet in the pattern. Complete this leaf. Next, we will work double crochets and half double crochet into the adjacent gap. First, 2 double crochets. Followed with 1 half double crochet. Into the next gap, work 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Continue work 3 single crochets into following gaps. Follow the pattern to complete the required gaps. For my sample, the placements and the number of stitches are random. Now into the next gap. Work 1 half double crochet and 2 double crochets. Then continue working leaves into the next gaps. Complete the final gap. Continue with 1 chain. Then work 1 double crochet into the turning chain or the gap. When working into the turning chain, always pick up 2 strands of the third chain to work. This completes the final of the even section. Next, let's crochet the decreasing section. Crochet the left and right sides separately. The left and right here are based on the actual wearing placement. First, continue working one side with the yarn from the even section. Then join the yarn to crochet the other side. First, let's crochet the left decreasing section. I still use this sample to demonstrate. First, complete the special leaf. Then refer to the pattern to crochet the required number of leaves. After that, into the adjacent gap. Work 2 double crochets and 1 half double crochet. Followed with 2 single crochets into the next gap. No need to work into the remaining gaps. Now row 1 is complete. Move on to row 2. At the beginning, we need to carry the yarn across. First, enlarge the loop on the hook. Then pass the fabric or the yarn ball through the loop. Slightly tighten. Then turn the fabric. Hook into the second gap on the left side. Draw the yarn through. Here, the yarn should not be too tight or too loose. It should be level with the fabric. Then chain 4 to begin. Work leaves into the gaps correspondingly. Finally, work 1 chain and 1 double crochet. Now row 2 is complete. Move on to row 3. First, complete the special leaf. Turn the fabric. Then work leaves correspondingly. Continue crocheting until you reach the placement before the last gap. When you reach the corresponding placement, work 2 double crochets into the gap below. Then work a DC2 tog into the gap, and the double crochet on the edge. Row 3 is complete. For the remaining rows, no new stitches or methods are used. Just follow the pattern to complete the remaining part. After completing, fasten off the yarn. First, chain 1 to secure. Leave a little yarn tail. Break the yarn. Pull tight. Weave the yarn end inside the fabric. Here, this side with neat texture of row 1 is the right side of the fabric. Weave in several stitches on its wrong side. You can do more stitches. This completes the left decreasing section. Move on to right decreasing section. Place the wrong side of the final row of the even section facing us. Then find the gap between the leaves next to the single crochet. Join the yarn here. Make a slip knot. Hook into and pull through. Adjust it. Then chain 1 to begin. Work 2 single crochets into the same placement. Continue following the pattern to work. Complete the last leaf. Row 1 is complete. Move on to row 2. Follow the pattern to work to the placement before the DT cluster. When reach this placement, hook into the same gap and the left gap. Work the DT cluster. First, work 1 unclosed double crochet into the gap below. Then into the next gap. Work 1 unclosed treble crochet, yarn over twice. Hook into. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat twice. Once. Twice. This is the unclosed treble crochet. There are now 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops once. The DT cluster is complete. Now row 2 is complete. There are no new stitches or methods required in the following rows. Just follow the pattern to work. When done, remember to fasten off the yarn. This completes the right decreasing section. At the same time, our tutorial for the front piece is complete. Work the back piece in the same way. When crochet the final row of the back piece, remember to join with the front piece. Now I will demonstrate how to join while crocheting in the final row. I use this sample to demonstrate. The number of stitches for joining the last row will vary according to the size. Here, I'll demonstrate with the smallest size. Now we reach the final row of the decreasing section. Chain 3 to begin. Then turn the fabric. Take out the completed front piece. Place them with their wrong sides facing each other. Find the corresponding decreasing section. Work one single crochet in the edge to join. If there is the turning chain and the leaf like this, just work into the gap. When done, back to the back piece. Continue working one leaf into the next gap. Then hook into the gap of the front piece. Work a single crochet to join. Back to the back piece. Continue working a leaf into the gap. Then chain 1. Move to the chain space or stitch of the front piece. Work a single crochet to join. Then back to the back piece and work one double crochet correspondingly. Now we have completed the joining for this side. At the same time we completed the final row. Break the yarn. In this way, we joined the final row of both front and back piece. For the other side, follow the same method to join as you go. Now our tutorial for the back piece is complete. Move on to edging. We will work around the outer edge of the front and back pieces in round. The first 2 rounds require a color change. There are no new stitches or methods used. Please watch my demonstration. First, refer to the pattern to take out the required color of yarn. Then, place the front piece facing us. Find the final row at the upper left of the front piece. For different sizes, the beginning placements are different. The first few stitches are also slightly different. For situation 1, we join the yarn at the chain space of the final row. For situation 2, we join the yarn at the stitch on the edge. I will demonstrate using the smallest size as an example. Here we join the yarn at this chain space. Then chain 3 to begin. After that, just follow the pattern to work. When reach row 1, we hook into the gap between the leaves on the edge. That is the chain space next to the beginning yarn tail. Work one leaf. Here remember to weave in the beginning yarn tail while crocheting. After that, chain 2. Work another leaf into the same placement. Then continue work leaves into the following chain spaces correspondingly. Work one leaf into this chain space on the edge. Chain 2. Work one more leaf. Continue following the pattern to work leaves. Work all the way until the final row. When reach this placement, we may work into the chain space for situation 1. Or work into the third chain from the turning chain for situation 2. As for the joint, pick up 2 strands on the edge to work. For the back piece, follow the same method for the front piece to work. Or refer to the pattern for the specific stitches. Follow this method to work. Finally, pick up 2 strands of the third chain from the turning chain. Slip stitch to join. Pull tight. Now round 1 is complete. Move on to round 2. Chain 3 to begin. Then follow the pattern to work. Just work leaves in this round. Into the corner spaces. Work 2 leaves. Chain 2 for transition between them. For other placements, just work leaves correspondingly. In some sizes, there might be 5 double crochets like this. We can work 3 double crochets into the middle stitch, and the gaps on both sides. This equals to 1 leaf. Just follow the pattern to complete this round on your own. Finally, into the third chain up from the turning chain. Slip stitch into 2 strands to join. Pull tight. Now round 2 is complete. Now we need to change color. Break the yarn. Join new yarn for the remaining rounds. Then just follow the pattern to work leaves. Pay attention to the corners. The method for the corners is the same as before. Complete the remaining part. Don't break the yarn after completing. We will continue with the yarn for the flutter sleeve. This completes the edging. Now move on to the flutter sleeve. Crochet in rounds around the edging. Here, I will continue using the sample for demonstration. Continue work with the previous yarn. Chain 1 to begin. For the following part, some sizes need us working cinch crochet into the beginning chain, that it work into the working placement of the slip stitch. Some sizes need us work single crochet into the double crochet from the adjacent leaf. Crochet according to your actual size requirements. For the smallest size, here I work into the beginning chain. Work the single crochet correspondingly. Then chain 3 to space. Skip 1 stitch below. Work 1 single crochet. Chain 3 to space. After that, always skip 1 stitch, and then work a single crochet. And chain 3 in between. Continue crocheting until you reach the corner. Now we reach the corner. Into the chain space below, repeat 1 single crochet and 3 chains twice. For this following side, we will work only into the half loop of each stitch. One stitch consists of 2 strands. The one closer to us is the front loop. The one farther from us is the back loop. We only work into the front loops in this side. Still skip 1 stitch and then work a single crochet with 3 chains in between. Continue crocheting until the next chain space. Now we reach this chain space. Into the chain space, work 1 single crochet and 3 chains. Repeat twice. For this side, work in the same way as the side at the beginning. And the stitches are symmetrical. When reach the other side with the beginning placement. Also work into the front loops of the stitches. The method is same to this side. Continue working. Finally, into the beginning single crochet, slip stitch to join. Pull tight. Now round 1 is complete. Move on to round 2. Chain 1 to begin. Then work a single crochet into the left chain space. Chain 4 to space. For the rest of this round, work a single crochet into each chain space. Between the single crochets, chain 4. Follow this method to complete this round. When completing the single crochet into the final chain space, chain 1. Then into the beginning single crochet. Work a double crochet to join. This completes round 2. Move on to round 3. Chain 1 to begin. Into the chain space below, work 1 single crochet, 2 chains and another single crochet, then chain 5 to space. For the rest, work 1 single crochet, 2 chains and another single crochet into each chain space. After completing each chain space, chain 5 to space. Follow this method to complete this round. When completing the final chain space, chain 2. Then into the first single crochet, work a double crochet to join. Now round 3 is complete. For the remaining rounds, just repeat the stitches in round 3, so please refer to the pattern to complete the rest part. When done, fasten off the yarn. Our tutorial for the flutter sleeve is complete. Finally, let's crochet the side piece. Work into the corresponding placements of the edging from the front and back pieces. Then, work back and forth. When working the final row of the back piece, join to the side piece of the front piece as you go. Let me demonstrate for you. I still use this sample for demonstration. Begin from the front piece. Make sure the right side of the front piece is facing up. Also, the right side of the edging is facing up. Then, find the corner on this side. Count the corresponding number of leaves from the corner. Refer to the pattern for the specific number. Then hook into the gap between the leaves from behind. Join the yarn here. Then chain 3 to begin. Work 2 double crochets. Complete 1 special leaf. Continue hook into the gap S from behind. Work leaves correspondingly. Work 1 leaf into the corner space correspondingly. Here we find the corresponding chain space first. Then hook into to work. Now row 1 is complete. Next, follow the pattern to work back and forth until completing the required rows. When done, fasten off the yarn. For the side piece of the other side, follow the same method to work. Here we work from right to left. Begin from this corresponding corner space. Hook into from back to front. Join the yarn here. Next, work leaves into the gaps correspondingly. After completing the required rows, just fasten off the yarn. Complete this part on your own. When crocheting the side piece of the back piece, join the final rows of both the front and back pieces. Work and join simultaneously. The method is same as joining the shoulders. Complete this part on your own. Once completed, it should look like this. This completes our tutorial for the side piece. Finally, let's edging the neckline. Join the yarn from the joint. Then work along the edges of each row. Complete the required number of single crochets. Then, move to the reserved section. Work single crochets into the stitches correspondingly. For the edge of each rows, always work into the chain space on the edge, or the corresponding stitch on the edge. Work single crochets. The method for the front and back pieces are identical. When done, slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Then fasten off the yarn. Complete this part on your own. This completes our tutorial for the edging of the neckline. Up to this point, our tutorial of the top is concluded. Next, we will crochet the skirt. Crochet in round around the bottom of the top. There are no new stitches and methods required. Let me demonstration for you. I demonstrate with this sample. Place the neckline of the top downward. Then find the side piece of the front piece. Pick up one stitch from the final row. Pick up the whole stitch. Join the yarn. Then chain 3 to begin. Chain 1 to space. Into the same placement, continue with 1 double crochet. 1 chain and another double crochet. Refer to the pattern for the adjacent placement. Pick up the whole double crochet or its stitch. Work 5 double crochets. We consider 5 double crochets as one fan group. Continue referring to the pattern. Pick up the corresponding stitch and work 1 double crochet. 1 chain. Another double crochet. Another chain and 1 more double crochet. We consider these stitches as group 1. Next, refer to the pattern to work into the corresponding placement. Work fan group and group 1 alternately. When reach the corner space, hook into the chain space below the flutter sleeve. Work the corresponding group. For the following part below the flutter sleeve, we work into the back loop of this row of stitch. Refer to the pattern to work corresponding groups into the back loops. After that, we reach the side pieces. Pick up the stitch on the edge to work. For the back piece, follow the same method as for the front piece. Complete the corresponding groups. The number of groups in the front and back pieces should be the same. Just follow the pattern to continue working. Complete the final fan group. Move to the beginning chain, pick up 2 strands of the third chain to join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Now round 1 is complete. Move on to round 2. Chain 3 to begin. Then into the left chain space. Work 4 double crochets. We treat it as a special fan group. Into the adjacent chain space, continue with another fan group. Next, we reach the fan group from the previous round. Hook into the middle one. Work 1 double crochet. One chain and another double crochet. We consider these stitches as group 2. Next, always work fan groups into the chain space. And work group 2 into the middle stitch of the fan group. Follow this method to work. When completing the final group 2, slip stitch into the beginning chain. Pull tight. In the following part, when joined to the beginning chain of double crochet, always slip stitch into the top chain. Pick up its 2 strands to work. Now round 2 is complete. Move on to round 3. First, slip stitch into the left 2 stitches to carry the yarn across. Here no need to tighten the slip stitches. Then crochet a special group 2. Chain 3 to begin. Then chain 1 to space. Work 1 double crochet into the same placement. Complete the special group 2. Next, into the gap between these 2 fan groups. Work 1 fan group. Then hook into the middle stitch of the left fan group. Work a group 2. For the following group 2, work fan groups into the chain spaces. Then work fan group and group 2 alternately. Refer to the pattern or the demonstration for the working placement. Continue crocheting downward. Finally, slip stitch into the beginning chain to join. Pull tight. Round 3 is complete. Move on to round 4. First, slip stitch in the left chain space to carry the yarn across. Then work a special fan group. Work group 2 into the following fan group. Work fan groups into the chain spaces of group 2. Continue crocheting with this method. Finally, slip stitch into the beginning chain to join. Pull tight. Round 4 is complete. For the remaining rounds, follow the method of the previous 2 rounds to work. For the final 2 rounds, we need to change color, so break the yarn after completing the third to last round. For the second to last round, refer to the pattern to join the yarn. Then begin crocheting as before. After completing, fasten off the yarn. Complete this part on your own. This completes our tutorial for the skirt. Next, crochet the lace. There are 3 layers. In order, they are lace 1, lace 2 and lace 3. First, let's crochet lace 1. Work around the final round of the skirt. Here the crochet method is same to the flutter sleeves, just differ in the number of rows and the working placements. Here I explain the working placements. When crochet round 1, if there is a double crochet, work into its front loop. If there is a chain, work into the front strand. Crochet in rounds. When done, fasten off the yarn. Complete this part on your own. After that, crochet lace 2. Also work around the final round of the skirt. Work in round behind lace 1. For round 1 of lace 2, just work into the back loop of the stitches. For the chains, pick up the remaining 2 strands to work. Then crochet in rounds with leaves. During the process, we may need to change colors. No new stitches or methods required. Just refer to the pattern to complete. After that, move on to lace 3. Behind lace 2, work into the back loops of the corresponding round. Then crochet in rounds. The crochet method is same as for lace 1, just differ in the number of rounds. When done, fasten off the yarn. Complete this part on your own. This completes lace 3. Our tutorial for the lace is complete. Up to this point, that concludes our tutorial for the main body.